Boom, boom. This is Kendra, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. All right, we got a bit of Azur Lane update today. So let's go ahead and talk about what's going on. So we are into the phase one of the actual event. So we're getting getting a little bit more information on the World Expo, which is going to be taking place. It's sort of like a competition for ship girls, friendly competition. Ship girls, nothing in terms of like battle or anything like that, but just sort of like, I guess you could say, the Olympics for ship girls is what the World Expo is called. The Sardegna Empires, of course, wanting to start it back up. They've sent invitations to all of the factions, and of course, us as the commander, we got a invitation from every single one of the factions, which is going to cause a political crisis in making a determination as to which one we want to do. But anyway, that's the comedy part. But the expo is what we're most likely going to have the sorties on. Now, yes, for those who are asking, yes, there will be sorties. They will be coming in phase two of the call to arms, as always. Phase one is always using the ships named. You can use those for 7 days. They'll have a 20 plus 20 XP gain, 20% XP gain. So you can level them up a lot faster. You basically want to get them all to 70 minimum, and you want to fully limit break them so that you can use them as bonus ships. As I said previously, when the build starts in phase two, which will be in about 4 days, you'll be able to use these ships inside of that event in certain of the actual levels to get bonus points. Okay, these bonus points are needed in case you don't pull all the ships. If you pull all the ships in the build, but remember the builds are RNG, so random number generator people, which means random. You could get all of the same ship, or you could get some of the ships, but come up 1 ship short, 2 ships short. I think you can miss 1 ship, but if you miss 2, you're not going to have enough to complete phase 2, which is to get the Splendor of Sardinia portrait frame. All right, so to get that frame, you need to have all but 1 of the ships, and you got to fully limit break them up. So you got to get them to 70 and fully limit break them, and that's when you get the points inside of the mission. And that's when you'll actually be able to get them. But you got to get 3,000 points. If you come up 1 ship short, I think you generally have enough if you can do all the other ships. But I think if you come up 2 ships short, you will not have enough points unless you use the bonus points from the ships in phase 1, which is why it's extremely important that you at least get them to 70 and get them fully limit broke, so that just in case you need to use them, you've got them. Okay. So this is what phase 1. So just get these ships. I've made a fleet with these ships in it. Okay, and I'm just running the 3-4 with those ships simply because of the fact that I'm trying to get a Kagi, which I still have not been able to get. So I'm just, as you can see, I've got them all in here. Okay, and I'm running the 120. I'm going to be taking her to 125. So the XP for her is it's storing. When I click on 125 to the final limit break, it'll automatically faction in all of the experience that I've earned with her to that point and get her up to 125, so it's not being wasted. But as you can see, all of these will survive. I haven't quite got her to 70 yet, but at last day of the event, I'll use however many XP data packs. I've got a bunch of them to get her up to 70 very easy. I could do it right now, but I'm just going to wait. And then I'll get her to 70, fully limit breaker. And then so if I do need to use her, I'll be able to. But these are the ships right here. There's 1 more ship, but she's at 120 as well too. So it's really not important at this point to be focused on her, and that's Prince Eugen. So yeah, that's where we're at this particular point. Now they've announced some of the girls, as is common. Let me get in here. So we're going to be going to Facebook right now. So far they've announced RN Roma. So we've got the Vittorio Benito class battleship, super rare. Okay, nice hit points of selling. Pretty good design, as always. The Sardegna Empire ships have an excellent design. With the colors and everything, and yeah, just a very, very good design. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. The next one they've got is RN Leonardo da Vinci. So we've got a sub here. She's a Marconi class submarine. SR Torpedo, and of course, that's what subs do is torpedo. So no, no, no surprise there. And then last but not least, we have Alfredo Oriani, I should say. And she looks shelling and evasion. She is, of course, Oriani class destroyer. So nothing, wow, 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 as of yet. The Sardegna Empire, really, to be quite blunt, already has a fairly decent fleet. The ships that they've given you, I mean, Vittorio you can use as flagship. They've got Aquila. She's an excellent, excellent class. You got Torio. So you've really got some ships. You got Duca. So you've got ships that you can use. So this is just a couple more ships, maybe to make adding in a little bit of, we don't have a sub. That's nice to have a good sub. And then another battleship. So if you wanted to run, put her in a backfield, that would be good. So this is just going to make you so that you can have a really good SR fleet for them. So that's what we're looking at. There should be another one or two ships. Not going to be a UR ship. There is no projections to have a UR ship coming out. So that will not be happening in this particular event. So, but event after, it's possible. So continue with the Splendorous invitation. This is what's giving you the story about the World Expo and what's going on and where we're at that particular time. And of course, we'll get at the end of that, you get the World Expo invitation gear, limited gear item. Okay, so keep with the story. As you can say, it's really really simple, nothing thing. So just use those ships, get them up to 70 fully limit, break them so you get the points. And use them in the fleet sorties that we're going to be having next week, so that you can actually, if you do miss on some of the ships, you'll be able to actually use those to get the bonus EXP. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot going on. We've got the completion plan, blueprint completion plan for mains, of course, priority ships, so you definitely want to make sure that you get all of the blueprints for her. Dreamwaker's Butterfly, of course, this is the event from the previous. Make sure that you collected all of the extra rewards for that. Okay, make sure that you did get the chat frame. As you can see, this one here was for 3,600, but there was a rerun. Operating under the facts that it was a rerun, that they do have all of the actual ships, so that's what they were banking on. So that's why it was at 3,600 and maxed out. So it was pretty easy to get. I had all the ships. I had them all maxed out, so it didn't take anything. But you will be seeing the mission comes up when they do phase 2. We'll be getting the new missions, which will have for the limit breaking, for the actual new ships that are coming out. Other than that, there's not a whole lot going on. But yes, it's going to be another 4 days on the 27th before we actually see the sorties come up and the build event come up at that time. So until then, we're just sort of like in a holding pattern. But you want to make sure, you get those ships up, get them to 70, get them fully limit broke, so that if you do not get all of the ships in the build, you'll be able to use them to get the bonus XP. I cannot stress that enough. That's why they're giving us 7 days of plus 20 for those ships, and so we can get them up fast, running them through sorties and whatnot. What I do is I've got them in my dorm right now. So I'm running them in the dorm, and I'm also running them in the actual levels. See, Sheffield, Chinha, Kronstadt, Joffrey, Jervis, and Vanguard. So I've got all of them inside of here, as well as I'm using them inside of Fleet 5. And this way, they'll be, I'll get them up as high as I can. Most likely, I'm probably going to use Joffrey. I have some plans for Joffrey in a fleet, so I'm probably going to be using her in the future. But I really don't use the others very often. They're not in any of my actual future plans at this point. I do use Kronstadt because it's UR ship, so she's in several of the fleets that I have planned. Vanguard, of course, another UR ship. British fleet, so plans for her, of course, she'll be used as well. And then Joffrey, something along the lines of possibly running, working on 13. To try to utilize them to do some type of auto on 13. That's something that we're still looking into, but we'll have to see. Other than that, everything seems to be running out pretty good. Nothing new to talk about except for those 3 ships. We'll go a little bit more in depth to the ship once they start once they drop the actual rest of the ships, because we're probably going to get 2 more ships. Okay, they usually, since it's a brand new event, we're probably going to get 5 new ships. So just so that's what we expected to build, but we're not expecting a UR class, which is not surprising. They'll have a UR class. The next UR class, difficult to cover. A lot of people think it's going to be Sardegna Suez for. Thought it was going to be Sardegna Suez for the Parliament, but it wasn't. So not really sure where it's going to go. Everybody wanted a UR ship for the Royal Navy. We got that with Vanguard. So we're not really sure where it's going to go from here, in terms of what they're going to give us. Okay, so we'll just have to wait and see. It could be, it could be something of a surprise. Red talks, but they'll have after this event gets over, they'll probably start dropping hints and podcasts and stuff as to what we're looking for inside of the future in terms of the next UR ship. But for right now, it's a little bit up in the air as to what it could be. So even trying to posit a guess would not be remotely accurate and would be completely out there. There's really only one ship that's really important, but that has not been released yet in terms of story, and that's Sardegna Soyuz for the Northern Parliament. You'll get to see her again in the Splendorous Invitation. She is in the first mini movie that they show for the Splendorous Invitation. She's the one talking to Kronstadt, and she asked Kronstadt to go to the World Expo to represent the Northern Parliament. And so she was there and she was talking. She is the flagship for the Northern Parliament, so that's why she's there. But she has not been released. We don't have her yet. So we've got several good ships for that. So that's what that's what we're looking at. So other than her, which I would doubt very seriously, they just released a UR ship. I doubt very seriously if they'd release 2 UR ships for the Northern Parliament fleet. Although I do sort of consider them the 5th fleet in terms of what the major fleets, but I would be surprised if they would enter 2 UR ships for that before they did it for one of the other actual factions. So we'll have to see exactly what they have up their sleeve. And we'll know a little bit more after this event. It'll be to the point where they're going to start having chatter. They've been giving us UR ships on a regular basis now. It's usually a few months between when they give one out. The last one we had, Vanguard, was just in the event before the last one that we had when they came out with the HMS Vanguard. So she was UR. So we should know after this event a little bit more about what their plans are in terms of the next UR ship. Just make sure that you do have cubes on stock, okay? Because like I say, I'm going to pull on the next 2 ones. I'm going to try to complete the event. I will definitely complete the event in terms of the sorties and the build. I'll just have to see how it goes. I don't want to dump a lot of actual cubes into it if I don't have to, considering the fact that there's not going to be a UR ship. But then again, I do collect the ship girls, so I'm going to have to put something into it. So it'll be one of those let's see what I can get up type situations there, and see how many I can actually get from an easy standpoint. I'll have all of the ships at 70, the bonus ships. So if worse comes to worse and I come up short, I'll be able to use those to get some points and not have to waste cubes on it, since a UR event will most likely be coming up within a few weeks after this event ends. So we'll have to wait and see what goes on with that. But yeah, hopefully we'll get a little bit of chatter pretty soon about it. So I just had some questions about what goes on in Phase 1, and yes, there is no sorties, so there's nothing special in terms of you have to just keep up with the Splentorious, the Splentorious invitation. Just make sure that you do this daily, so that you can get the actual new story. Okay, and this will give you the gear item, and it'll explain what's going to be happening in the sorties, so you don't go into the sorties completely like what's going on. You'll have pretty much what's going on from the pre-story, which is what this is. So that's so they're telling us what the story is, and they're giving us those ships. 5 ships in this case. Generally, it used to be 4. It's now 5. that you want to make sure that you can use in the bonus events. All right, so we'll have to see what goes on and what it is, but yeah, it's based on the World Expo. So read up on Splinter's invitation, and that will actually get you familiar with what we're going to be seeing here in about 4 days when the next event, phase 2, rolls up. All right, so thanks a lot for watching. Remember to subscribe. Once you subscribe, you'll see the bell. Click on it, you'll get notified each time we drop a new video. Kendra coming at you from the corner, signing out.